Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss Volume 1 of Another Day, The Brides of Maracoor from Gregory Maguire. So this is now 17-year-old Rain, Core slash Throp slash, what's Fiero's last name? Kindar or something? I don't remember last names. The words are escaping me today. Tigalar. There we go. I knew there was an R at the end. So Rain and Iskanari, her goose familiar. Oh, this is 368 pages long. Came out in 21. Rain and her goose familiar Iskanari had jumped on a broom with the Grimmery at the end of Out of Oz. She's soaring across the desert, right, past the sea. I don't like how the map was changed. The Oz map. Where's the Oz map? Where's the Oz map? Oh, maybe the map is in the other books. Because the sea is not there for some reason. I don't know. Yes, I understand it's Gregory Maguire's own multiverse of Oz. I get it. But the map changed, and I don't like that. Anyway, so Rain and Iskanari wind up on these islands called Maracoor, and Rain happens to be the 8th now female on this particular island of Maracoor, where there's 7 brides, and they let their feet for some stupid reason. They net weaves of they weave nets of with seaweed each morning. Like, that's their ritual, that's their thing. They're supposed to keep the island safe, something to that extent. But the main island of Maracoor is like where the main city hall is and stuff like that. So like ever so often someone will check up on them, and then if there's an 8th bride, then all hell's gonna break loose. But then there's another thing that's going on in another part of the sea by another island where ships are starting to invade. So it's a matter of, did this rain creature, she's referenced all the time, the green one, Greenie, the rain creature, did she bring these ships? Is this an invasion of Maracoor? So it's a matter of figuring out what the hell's going on while Rain is trying to figure out why she has amnesia. But Iskanari doesn't have an amnesia. And he doesn't tell her anything about Oz. He's more of a, you're going to figure this out. And I don't like that. Because if someone genuinely wants to know what the hell's going on and you have the information, tell them. It annoyed me. So Rain deciding that she's going to let the thoughts come back to her as time goes on. Iskanari then leaves. Grimmery is nowhere to be found. There's different ages of these brides, quote unquote. Youngest is 10. Her name's Cassie. Then you have older ones in their 60s, 70s, 80s. One dies. So then it's a matter of, oh, well, Rain can technically be the 7th bride now, even though she's not going to bleed her feet. Which, again, is just a horrifying self-mutilation aspect, which I still don't understand the point of. So why is it that the 10-year-old Cassie has to do it, but then this 17-year-old Rain doesn't have to do that? And then it's a matter of who potentially killed that older bride. So then the blame is going to be on Cassie, and then there's a trial and all these things. And then the flying monkeys appear randomly at the end. And Rain and Cassie just escape. So it's a prison break type of aspect. After then, Iskandar, the goose, comes back, and then goes again. It's a very disjointed storyline. And then eventually Rain's recollection is coming back. She's remembering she's from Oz. She's remembering she was in love with Tip. She wants to get back to Oz. She wants to get back to Tip. So the question then is, in the next 2 books, because this is now a 3-books trilogy of the follow-up to the Land of Oz books, to the Wicked books, what happens next? What happens in Maracoor? Why is Rain not able to fly again? Where's the broom? If she's going to fly again, where's the Grimmery? Is she going to get the broom? Is she going to get the Grimmery in order to get Cassie the hell out of Maracoor? What happens next? So I'm curious how the story goes. I read this in a week. So the pacing is much better than the other books. I was going to say films. Pacing is much better than the other books. And I'm very happy about that. And I like these characters. I like that Rain is the granddaughter of Elphaba, whose son is Lear, her dad, Rain's dad. So I'm curious how the story is going to progress. I'm curious how it's going to end. I'm curious if she'll get back to Oz. I'm curious what Lear and everybody else who's still alive is up to. I'm curious what happens next in this multiverse Land of Oz. So I'm curious. I'm very curious. I went through it in a week, which is what I hoped and continually hope to do with books from now on. 368 pages in a week. That's pretty good. So, Brides of Maracoor, Volume 1 of Another Day. Okay, it's an interesting beginning. I didn't like most of it, but I'm still invested because I want to know what happens next. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign in a book. If you didn't like it as much, if you hate the book, you're not going to read the sequel. But I like it. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. Solid 6 out of 10. Solid 6 out of 10. I want to know what happens next. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.